Call this meeting of the Board of Supervisors of January 15, 2013 to order. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Bronson,
Present.
Supervisor Carroll,
Here.
Supervisor Elias,
Para servirle.
Supervisor Miller,
Here.
Chairman Valadez.
Present.
Let the record show all members are present.
Today's invocation will be offered by Rabbi Thomas Lesheim of Congregation Shadesh, and will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Supervisor Miller. Everyone, please stand.
This is a slightly different kind of invocation. This comes from the Rebbe of Pishka, who had a conversation with his student, Rabbi Simcha Bonim. Rabbi Bonim was one of the great rabbis of the 18th century who taught his students that when depressed, he had two pieces of paper, one in one pocket, one in another. And in one pocket, when he felt depressed, he pulled that piece of paper out, and it said, I am created in the image of God, and for the sake of the world was I created. And in the other pocket, when he felt high and mighty, the other piece of paper said, I am but the dust and ashes of the earth. And he had this conversation with Rabbi Kotzk, who one of his great aphorisms was, all that is thought should not be said, all that is said should not be written, all that is written should not be published, and all that is published should not be read. So what I handed to you all is something that I did with the Dalai Lama when he was in town a number of years ago, when we had a conference of 150 clergy not far from here, and I shared this contemplative practice. It's a meditation that doesn't mention the name of God, so those who don't believe in God, this works for them. Those who believe in Star Wars, this works for them as well, because it deals with the energy or the force of the universe. So I just share this with you briefly. Mimale kolomin, v'sovev kolomin, ומבלעדיך אין שום מציאות כלל, ממלא כל המין וסובב כל המין, ומבלעדיך אין שום מציאות כלל. And for those who don't have this in front of them, may the presence, the energy of the universe, God fill me. May the presence, the energy of the universe, God surround me. There is no place where this energy, where this presence, where God does not fill the entire space where I am. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you. Next, we move on to Pause for Pause, and we have Officer Bowden here with Princess, who's a 7-year-old spayed Labrador Retriever.
Good morning. This is Princess. She came to our facility on the day after Christmas. Been waiting for a home ever since then. She's a little bit older, so it's a little more difficult to place dogs like this. I like to say it's a shorter term commitment because she's already got 7 years under her belt. She's very well mannered. She has been an owned dog. She's not a true stray born on the street. She had a home for many, many years. Unfortunately, they weren't able to provide proper care for her, and now she's looking for a new home. We would like for her to go into another permanent home so that she's not coming and going through our facility. She very well mannered. She walks great on a leash, healthy. She's already been spayed. She's in good weight, and she's a little nervous right now. She didn't realize that the floor would be so slippery for her. Our floors are a little bit more textured, and so the dogs don't slip around, but when they get onto a floor like this, it can lead to a little slipping and sliding, and that can make them quite nervous. She's very friendly, though, and would do well, I think, in any home. not real good with cats, I've learned. She did come across a few cats outside and was quick to give chase. That doesn't mean she would harm them. However, she was very attracted to any small moving creature. So she is part of our adoption special right now, which through the end of January is $13 per dog, along with the $15 licensing fee, so $28 gets them out the door. It's quite a good deal. At $13, I figured her out based on her weight. You're getting almost $4 or 4 pounds per dollar. So it's quite a good deal for a dog. If you're not interested in necessarily this dog but have room in your home for another dog, we've got plenty to choose from, as always. Our facility is located at 4000 North Silverbell, and we're open from 12 until 7 on weekdays and 10 till 5 on weekends. You can come on down and check out any dog in our facility at any time during those open hours. And if you don't have room in your home for a dog but you do want to help out, there's other options. You can donate money, which you can go to our website, which is pimaanimalcare.org. There's a green bar at the top of our homepage with an alternating cat and dog. You can click on that and donate any amount of money. No amount's too large, no amount's too small. If you don't have a lot of spare money and you don't have room in your home for an animal, if you've got time on your hands, I'd encourage you to find an opportunity to come down and walk our dogs. Our dogs all need to be walked on a daily basis. They quite enjoy the fresh air. We've got a beautiful lake behind our facility, many volunteers, lots of great dogs to get to know, lots of great people to get to know. So if you've got time on your hands and like to help out, we definitely would love to have you down there and help us out. Yes, ma'am, did you have a question? I'm sorry, what was your name? Jerry?
Excuse me. If you'd like to speak, you can come up to the mic and identify yourself with the record and then speak into the mic, please.
Yes, Council. My name is Jerry Altaboni, and I was down there Saturday looking for a dog, and I saw one that I liked, and it wasn't on the county yet, and it went on the county yesterday, and so I called them, and they said it was a special dog because she was found with a couple other dogs. She's 9 months old, and they killed a chicken. So because they killed a chicken, they won't spay her. Why is that, even though I'm willing to adopt her?
Because of the accusations made against the dog, because there's a potential that she may act again in an aggressive manner. We can't adopt them out in good faith in good conscience that we know that they're harmless, so to speak.
But if I'm willing to spay,
If you are,
to take her,
the county will absolutely allow you to take that responsibility.
but I can't have her. You guys won't spay her.
That's just the way the policy operates, that they don't spay animals that aren't approved for adoption by the normal criteria. And because she has been accused of killing a chicken, she doesn't match the regular criteria. So we want to make sure she goes to the proper home. And because of the nature of what she's accused of, we want to make sure that that person is understanding that there's a possibility that something like that could happen again. And for that reason, she doesn't go through the normal adoption procedure. She goes through special needs adoption, which means there isn't the funding available for the special needs, same as there is for the massive amounts of dogs that we have that do meet that criteria.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. But there are many, many options for low cost and free spay and neuter in our community. I would encourage you to search the websites for local spay neuter groups, and if you can't get it at a low cost or can't afford the low cost, there are some with waiting lists that you can get on for free spay and neuter. It just might take a couple weeks before you get through the list. We do have many, many dogs, though, as I was just saying, many, many dogs that are in need of homes. For those reasons, we have to select the ones that are most ideal for adoption, which is why they don't all necessarily meet the same standards of adoption qualifications. So, but they do make special exceptions, and they will absolutely, if you're able to take the dog, they will discuss it and discuss it with you what those needs may be, so that we can get those dogs into a home just the same as the others. So I would encourage you to please consider those dogs for adoption. I think that dogs that may have had a run-in with a chicken isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it's their instinct to go for other animals, small animals in particular. It's just part of their nature, and they should not necessarily be discriminated against because they've engaged in those activities. It's just nature. So those dogs are not bad dogs. They just are following their instincts and don't have the same restraint as maybe some other dogs do. So please don't let that discourage you from considering that animal. So if anybody's interested in this dog, she'll be down at our facility. She's ready to go. She's already been spayed, so she's ready to go out the door at noon today when we open. If anybody's interested, come on down, take a look at her, and take her for a walk if you wish. And we can hopefully get her into a home as soon as possible because she definitely is deserving and in need of a home. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Supervisor Elias.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I would say that because it's Martin Luther King's actual birthday today, that the District 5 office will be willing to carry the load on the adoption fees for this dog, especially since it's going to be a little harder to adopt because of her age and stuff. So we'd be very glad to do that if anybody's interested in adopting this nice black lab. So I appreciate you all coming down here and the work that you do always.
Thank you. We appreciate your offer to pay for her adoption.
Thank you. We have 2 items on the executive session calendar agenda, which should go fairly quickly. Is there a motion?
Move to go into exec.
Motion and a second to go. Motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. We'll recess to the sound of the gavel, which should be relatively shortly. Call this meeting back to order. We had 2 items on the executive session calendar. Council.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The 2 items appear on the addendum agenda. Executive session item A on the addendum concerns a request by Attorney Howard Baldwin that the Board of Supervisors waive a conflict of interest to allow him to represent Miriam and Roy Kyle regarding their continued operation of a bed and breakfast from their home. As in all cases, the decision to waive a conflict of interest is entirely up to the board.
What's the will of the board?
Move to waive.
Motion and a second to waive the conflict. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Council?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, executive session item B on the addendum agenda concerns a request by Attorney Doug Clark, Jr. of the law firm of Mesh, Clark & Rothschild that the Board of Supervisors waive a conflict of interest to allow the firm to represent Tyler McConnell with respect to a possible claim in litigation arising out of an injury at the jail. As in all cases, again, the decision to waive the conflict is entirely up to the board.
Move to waive.
Motion and a second to waive the conflict. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Thank you,
Mr.
Council.
Chairman,
Supervisor Elias.
I'd like to ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Please proceed.
I just wanted to make note of a couple important milestones that we're reaching today. I did mention earlier that it's Martin Luther King's actual birthday today, but it's also Emily Veldy Elias's birthday, my dear wife, and I just wanted to say happy birthday to her and that I love her. And also my best friend, Robert Joseph Diaz, who's an employee at the University of Arizona Special Collections Library. It's his birthday as well. I wanted to mention both of those. Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday, Emily and Bobby.
Our very best wishes. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
All right, moving on to Board of Supervisors sitting in regular session consent calendar. We don't have any cards. Is there anyone here who would like to address the board at a consent calendar item only?
Mr. Chairman.
Seeing none, Supervisor Elias.
Seeing no one come forward to address the Board of Supervisors on any of the items on consent, I'll go ahead and move consent in its entirety.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve consent in its entirety. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to item number 6. Madam Clerk, we had several applicants. Would you please read the list?
The applicants were Brian R. Abbott, Michael Acosta, Barbara Blake, Barbara Delgado, Teresa Enriquez, Justin D. Knight, Lisa R. Royal, and James R. Staley.
Supervisor Carroll.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate that you attended the forum that was held in Green Valley by the League of Women Voters. I also understand Judge B was in attendance, and we appreciate the particular interest that was placed in these applicants. Of course, Gail White was an excellent justice of the peace, and we were hoping that because of the applicants, we would have all well-qualified choices to select from, and we have. The one that understands judicial temperament and certainly has the least on-the-job training necessary and has great references, by the way, is standing out as Lisa R. Royal. So I would move to appoint to Justice of the Peace, Precinct 7, Lisa Royal.
Second.
Motion and a second. By way of discussion, yes, Mr. Carroll, I know that you and I had planned on attending. Unfortunately, you were sick in bed, so you weren't able to attend. But yeah, Sharon, you might want to stay away from it a little bit. I do want to commend all the candidates that applied for it. It was very, very clear to me that their heart was in the right place, and I appreciate their spirit of dedication to all of them indeed. But I want to make sure that we get the best candidate. I think Mr. Carroll, she'll do a good job. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Benson.
I'm pleased with the selection, Supervisor Carroll. I know Ms. Royal, when she was over at Justice Courts and Administration, did much to bring transparency and efficiencies to the court offices, and I'm sure she will do the same as I assume she will be this appointed and during her term. So
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Elias.
I would just say that I would support Ms. Royal as well. I always appreciated the fact that she was very forthright with the board and with her employees, and I think that will serve us well on the bench, and I'd be very proud to vote in favor of it.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. By unanimous vote, Ms. Royale, congratulations. I'm going to ask you to please go to the clerk's office on the 5th floor of this building so you can do your oath of office. Congratulations.
That means we want you to get to work right away.
I believe you have a court calendar this afternoon. Please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm delighted, I'm humbled, and I'm honored, and I just accept this privilege, and I look forward to serving the community of Green Valley, and I thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to development services. Item number 7, final plat with assurances.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the item.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 7. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Hearings, franchises, licenses, and permits, items 8, 9, and 10.
Mr. Chairman, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address us on these items? If not, I'm going to move we close the public hearing, approve item 8 liquor license, and items 9 and 10 extension of premises patio permits.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing and approve item number 8, 9, and 10. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to transportation, traffic ordinances 11A through D, and ordinance number 2013-10 through 13.
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Elias.
I'm going to go ahead and move traffic ordinances, item 11, A, B, C, and D, including ordinances 2013, 10, 11, 12, and 13, close public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second before us is to approve items 11A through D, ordinance number 2013-10 through 13, and to close the public hearing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to the addendum agenda, page 1, Board of Supervisors sitting in regular session, item 1A, B, 2A through D.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move those items.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the remainder of the agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. We move to call to the public. I do have one speaker card. I'm going to ask Mr. Dale Babette to please come up, sir. Babel, I'm sorry. I said.
You did it on purpose.
Please come up, identify yourself for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Dale Babel. I reside in Apra Valley in Mrs. Bronson's district. I want to let Mrs. Bronson and anyone else that's interested know what I am intending to discuss with the mayor and city council, as I did on 2 previous occasions, speaking to this group, or this board. I'm sorry, group is wrong. I intend to point out to the mayor and the city council that the administrative hearing process that they employ is skewed and it is not working, that it's unfair, that no city of Tucson water consumer has a fair chance of prevailing. The woman that presides over these administrative hearings is Judy Dricky Procow, has been doing this for many years, and very, very seldom does a customer prevail. She is more or less an employee of the water company. And in my way of thinking, this is totally unfair, because any person that goes to an administrative hearing is so convinced with their convictions that they are being that they are sure that the water that they are being charged for did not go onto their property, as I was positive. I was lucky enough to witness the last 3 days of my water spike that I pointed out to Judge Judy, when I watched my meter climb a unit a day for 3 days in a row until the high water inquiry man came out. Oddly enough, that was the day that the spike stopped. Coincidentally, I suppose. So with those last 3 days of watching my meter climb 750 gallons each day, knowing I was using maybe 75, 150, something like that, nowhere near a unit. I went all over my property in both dwellings and I looked everywhere. I found nothing wrong. I had 2 water audits performed, and both times it was determined that there was nothing wrong with any of my fixtures, that there were no underground leaks. That was proven with the meter on both occasions. So when I was looking for a place for 2,500 gallons of water to be going, it was not occurring. Made me certain that that meter was indicating incorrectly for some reason or other. This is an anomaly that's been going on for many years. Everybody knows it. The water company is taking no steps to come to a reason for these anomalies. So I intend to show that Mrs. Brokaw is incapable of making a fair, unbiased decision in her administrative hearings. I have read many of her decisions. I've read one where the customer prevailed because she believed him. I don't know exactly why she disbelieved everybody else, but this is just totally, she should be considered an embarrassment to the city. And at the whole process, I'm going to insist on a new hearing. I don't know if I can demand it. I can request it, and I probably won't get it.
Mr. Bidwell, I'm going to ask you to please summarize.
But that's my intent, is to attempt to get a new hearing that's fair, unbiased, by a different hearing officer.
Thank you, Mr. Bidwell. Is there anyone else here who would like to address the board, call to the public? Hearing none, I just wanted to welcome Jeff Nortonson, who's our new communications director. Jeff, if you could please raise your hand. And would you please consult Mr. Spalding about his choice of ties? Seeing no further business, this meeting stands adjourned.